There are moments when the curtain slips, and the carefully crafted image of compassion and humility collapses under the weight of raw vanity. Meghan Markle's decision to flaunt her extravagant wardrobe just hours before receiving the title of Humanitarian of the Year is one of those moments, a stunning display of tone-deafness that exposes the widening gap between her rhetoric and her reality. This is not just about fashion. This is about optics, priorities, and the glaring contradictions at the heart of the Sussex brand. Meghan and Harry's coronation as humanitarians was already a stretch to many observers. But her gleaming display of wealth, paraded so casually before accepting an honor supposedly rooted in service and selflessness, pushes the situation from questionable to downright absurd. Let's be honest, there is nothing remotely humanitarian about flashing luxury labels as if humanitarianism were a runway. This isn't generosity, it's theater. It's the relentless performance of someone desperate to be both adored for their supposed virtue and envied for their opulence. Meghan has long tried to position herself as a voice for the voiceless, a champion of causes, and a figure of empathy. Yet the moment the spotlight turns inward, she cannot resist turning it into a fashion spectacle. Her timing could not have been more revealing. On the eve of an award meant to celebrate compassion, she chose to highlight the one thing that has always undermined her message, her obsession with status. Instead of a sober, reflective moment befitting a humanitarian accolade, she gave the world a glossy glimpse into her elite lifestyle. The contrast is staggering. The question practically asks itself, why on earth were they crowned Humanitarians of the Year? What exactly have Meghan and Harry done to merit this lofty title, beyond a string of well-publicized speeches, lucrative deals, and carefully curated appearances? Real humanitarianism is quiet, consistent, and self-sacrificing. It is not handed out with red carpets and designer gowns. It doesn't need to be announced with a wardrobe showcase. This award, and Meghan's pre-ceremony spectacle, perfectly encapsulate the hollow nature of their public persona. It's a brand built on the language of compassion but powered by the machinery of celebrity. They want the prestige of moral leadership without the humility that comes with it. In Meghan's world, image always trumps substance. The fact that she would deliberately draw attention to her wealth mere hours before a humanitarian award suggests not a lapse in judgment, but a fundamental misunderstanding of what humanitarianism actually is. She appears to see no contradiction between presenting herself as a savior figure and simultaneously basking in the glow of luxury. It's a kind of moral theater where virtue is worn like a designer dress, interchangeable, ornamental, and ultimately superficial. And this is precisely why so many people find it just ridiculous. There is a performative element to everything she does, an almost unshakable instinct to turn every occasion into a personal branding opportunity. When real humanitarians are honored, they usually let their work speak for itself. Meghan, on the other hand, lets her wardrobe do the talking, and the message is clear: look at me. It also raises serious questions about the institutions that bestow these titles. By awarding Meghan and Harry Humanitarian of the Year, they dilute the meaning of the word itself. It becomes less about actual humanitarian impact and more about visibility, celebrity, and political correctness. In doing so, they cheapen the work of those who dedicate their lives, quietly and selflessly, to genuine humanitarian efforts. It is absolutely insane that the same word used to describe medical workers in war zones, famine relief volunteers, and disaster response teams is now being applied to a couple living in a Montecito mansion, surrounded by luxury. There is a chasm between the reality of their lives and the role they're trying to play on the world stage, and every now and then, like in this wardrobe showcase, that chasm becomes too big to ignore. For Meghan, the allure of being seen as both glamorous and virtuous has always been irresistible. She wants the best of both worlds, the halo of humanitarianism and the glitter of celebrity. But true humanitarianism requires more than curated speeches and charity galas. It demands modesty, authenticity, and often, sacrifice. None of those qualities were on display in that lavish video. Critics are not wrong to call this out. They are not nitpicking, they are pointing at the gaping contradiction between Meghan's message and her methods. If she truly understood the spirit of the award she was about to receive, she might have chosen a quieter, more meaningful way to mark the moment. Instead, she reached for the luxury racks. This latest episode is not an isolated incident, it is part of a pattern. Time and again, Meghan Markle reveals where her true priorities lie, not in the selfless work she claims to champion, but in maintaining a glamorous, influential image. She speaks the language of compassion, but her actions consistently mirror the world of celebrity excess she supposedly left behind. And so, the spectacle continues: awards, speeches, photo ops, and now wardrobe showcases. But beneath the glittering surface lies a hollowness that even the most polished PR machine cannot conceal. Meghan Markle may wear the title Humanitarian of the Year, but her actions on this occasion speak far louder than the engraved plaque ever could.